Welcome and hello. Hi everybody. I'm Judy Robison. My pronouns are she and her. Normally our minister, Reverend William Levewood, is up here with you, but today I'm your worship leader. So I'll be speaking to you and sharing some thoughts. As we begin our service, I invite you to silence your phone, close your other windows on your computer, take a deep breath, and center yourself for worship. We open in welcome to the ancestral people of this land, acknowledging that our church, like all of Burke, rests on the unceded territory of the Manahoac tribe of the Great Sioux Nation. We seek healing and the realization of justice with the people of this land who live on in their descendants, the present-day members of the Monacan Indian Nation, the Patawomic Indian Tribe of Virginia, and the Piscataway Indian Nation. We honor the ancestors as we move toward healing so that all together shall one day know justice.
This congregation is a welcoming and inclusive spiritual home where we do inspire each other to live our values. And this is my favorite statement of our values. A couple of you have heard me say this before, but it's short and to the point. Together, we care in community, grow in spirit, and act for justice. Whether you're a longtime member or a newcomer or something in between, we're glad that you decided to join us today.
As we light our chalice, please join in reciting the words from our proposed new UU values. Oh, they've been adopted, yay. These are our values. Love is at the center of Unitarian Universalism. Love is the practice of our living tradition. As Unitarian Universalists, we covenant to help everyone flourish, honor the web of life, be beloved community, cultivate generosity, celebrate diversity, and transform the world. This month, our theme is unity in diversity. The circle is seen as a symbol of unity or oneness, but the circle can also be seen from many different perspectives or used in many ways. Today I'll be speaking about my fascination with circles and my experience with sacred circle dance. I wanted to talk about this for a while, so one Sunday this month would be a good time to volunteer while our minister, Reverend William Levewood, is on study leave. He'll be back in the pulpit next week, and then he'll be back on his regular schedule for August. Our next hymn is a song that we use in our circle dance programs, but I won't make you dance this time. Just to let you know, there will be an opportunity to participate in a simple circle dance after our coffee hour today, if anyone would like to stay and join me.
Good morning. Ooh, that was nice. Thank you for saying it back. I'm Olivia Tuggle. My pronouns are she, her. I'm the chair of the Children and Youth Spiritual Development Committee, and I'm here reading a round by Newbery Honor winner Joyce Seidman, and please pardon my pronunciation, illustrated by Taiyun Yu. This book is a charming lyrical look at why we love round things, from the small details of everyday life to the vast and ancient forces that shape our world. And a fun little activity you can do while you're looking at the, oh, do we have the slides for that? Yes, it is. Try to count how many rounds or circles you see in the book. Oh, sorry. I know they said silence it and I completely forgot to do that. There we go. Sorry about that. All right, I love round things. That's 2 right there already. Oh no, okay, good luck with that. I like to feel their smoothness. My hands want to reach around their curves. I love to see round things grow. They start out round like a seed or an egg waiting to hatch. Some swell into roundness, budding, ripening, stretching towards the sun. Oh, that's a lot of round things again. Let's just count the sun. Some are different shape to begin with. What shape could it be? But slowly, over time, all the sharp edges wear off. I love to watch round things move. They are so good at it. Rolling, spinning, bouncing. I always wonder where they're headed. I love round things when they're hidden and you have to discover them. Some hold secrets inside. Some are so almost too tiny to see. Ooh, little tiny baby ladybug eggs. I love how water can be round, gathered in beads of silver, or falling in wet spats, leaving circles of ripples behind. I love when round things pop up quickly and last only a moment, or spin together slowly and last billions of years, or show themselves night after night, rounder and rounder, until the whole sky holds its breath. I can be round too, in a circle of friends, with no one left out. Oh, but the puppy and the duck are left out. Or I can curl myself in a warm, round ball. I love round things. And also apparently her dad, caregiver. In keeping with our efforts to have our children and youth participate in our services, I have some helpers that are here to read the rest of the book.
Oh, hi, I'm Charlie. Round is cozy. Round nests and burrows are comfortable. No sharp edges. When we curl up in a ball, either alone or together, we feel warm and protected. Sharp pieces of grit inside oyster shells become round pearls over time because the oyster adds layers to make them smoother. Pebbles wear down to roundness through the tumbling movements of waves and on a sandy shore.
Round is sturdy. A round egg or seed distributes weight evenly over its entire shell, minimizing stress on any one point to help bear the body of a patient bird or the crush of an animal's digestive system.
Round spreads out. Trees often form spheres, three-dimensional circles, as their branches grow towards sunlight in all directions equally. Mushrooms open up like umbrellas to scatter their spores. Drops hitting water radiate circular ripples from a central point.
Round rolls. Round nuts, fruits, and seeds roll well, allowing them to scatter and grow new plants more easily.
Round is balanced. Spheres hold the most volume, the least amount of surface around duds. Bubbles and water droplets naturally form spheres as their surface tension contains the force of the air or water inside them. Plants are round because gravity pulls equally from the plant's central core to every point on its outer surface.
Round is beautiful. So many round things are important to us. The faces and eyes we seek out, the food we eat, the sun and moon that measure our days, the hugs that hold us tight. Round things are snug, symmetrical cosmos. They remind us of our interconnectedness and represent the cycle of seasons and of life. They bring us back to where we started.
We have a responsive reading today, so turn in your gray hymnal to 646, The Larger Circle by Wendell Berry. That's 646. It's at the back. And I will read the words in block type, and you will respond with the words in italics. 646. We clasp the hands of those that go before us. We enter the little circle of each other's arms. And the larger circle of all creatures. To a music so subtle and vast that no ear hears it.
The poem that Judy found for me to read today is by Wendell Berry. He's an American poet, a good poet, not such a nice guy personally, but we'll forgive him for that. It's about circles. Within the circles of our lives, we dance the circles of the years, the circles of the seasons within the circles of the years, the cycles of the moon within the circles of the seasons, the circles of our reasons within the cycles of the moon. Again and again we come and go, changed, changing. Hands join, unjoin in love and fear, grief and joy. The circles turn, each giving into each, into all. Only music keeps us here, each by all the others held. In the hold of hands and eyes, we turn in pairs, that joining each to all again. And then we turn aside, alone, out of the sunlight gone, into the darker circles of return.
So here we are in this sacred space, surrounded by circles. And you knew I'd be talking about circles and circle dance someday, right? We're in the space where we lit the chalice with the double circle of Unitarian Universalism. Look at the circles around us in the sanctuary, and I invite you to look back at the beautiful quilt by Peggy Eckerman. It's a circle of our Accotink families, adults and children, holding hands. We live our lives surrounded by circles that contain our experiences, that protect us, that connect us to the natural world. As babes, we look into the eyes of our parents and enter the circling embrace of their arms. As children, we play Ring Around the Rosie or Duck, Duck, Goose. As families, we go camping and roast marshmallows in a circle around the campfire. Circles have a special place in the science of geometry. Arcs, spirals, semicircles, and spheres are apparent and necessary in fields such as architecture, engineering, traffic control, and even going into space. Emma Milden, author of the Soul Searcher's Handbook, says, "Sacred geometry is all about us in this natural alignment." If you're curious to see sacred geometry play out before your eyes, just take a walk in nature. Milden says, "Natural patterns are all around us. Look into the center of a sunflower, a snowflake. You are observing, feeling, or responding to repeating vibrations and patterns of energy." I found a blog online that reminds us that circles have seemingly no beginning and no end, so they represent the never-ending loop. As such, circles in sacred geometry can be thought of as a symbol of oneness. The idea of this never-ending shape is demonstrable and observable in the number pi, or the ratio of the circumference of a circle to its diameter. Pi is called an irrational number that goes on forever, never repeating. How many decimals could any of us recite from that? The significance of circles permeates all cultures and modalities. The indigenous peoples of North America lived within the protection of circles. how they built their homes, how they gathered and danced, how they pictured their worldview. This is a circle from a Polynesian mandala. Black Elk was a spiritual leader of the Oglala Lakota, who died in 1950. He witnessed many upheavals by his people that his people endured, and he spoke about them, which his son translated for us. One of his most famous quotes about the sacred hoop can be found in the back of our hymnal. He said, "I was standing on the highest mountain of them all, and round about beneath me was the whole hoop of the world. And while I stood there, I saw more than I can tell, and I understood more than I saw. For I was seeing in a sacred manner the shape of all things in spirit, and the shape of all shapes that must live together like one being. And I saw that the sacred hoop of my people was one of many hoops that made one circle, wide as daylight and starlight, and in the center grew one mighty flowering tree to shelter all the children of one mother and one father. And I saw that it was holy." In another quote, Black Elk said, "The universe is circles within circles, and everything is one circle, and all the circles are connected to each other. Each family is a circle, and those family circles join together and make a community, and the community makes its circle where it lives on the earth. The community cares for that part of the earth, but cares for it as a circle, which is to say, in a cooperative and egalitarian way, where everybody is cared for and everyone is respected." Those were the words of Black Elk, and I wish we could live in a world like that. On the other side of the globe, we have the Enso. Enso is Japanese for circle. It's one of the deepest symbols in the tradition of traditional Zen. An education resource on the art of Zen that I found from the National Gallery of Victoria in Australia describes the Enso as the revelation of a world of spirit without beginning and end. The Zen circle of enlightenment reflects that transforming experience, perfectly empty, yet completely full, infinite, shining brightly like the moon mind of enlightenment. The Enso is done in a single fluid expressive stroke by artists and calligraphers who sometimes make this a daily creative exercise. Closed, it is unity and infinite, perfect balance. Drawn as an open circle, it represents the imperfection of our lives, more intriguing in being rough and messy like our lives, aiming for perfection but never achieving it. The goal is to remember beauty in imperfection. Or let's go to India and look at the art of the mandala. According to the World History Encyclopedia, the mandala, a Sanskrit word for circle, is an artistic representation of higher thought and deeper meaning given as a geometric symbol used in spiritual, emotional, or psychological work to focus one's attention from the outer rim to the inner. The image first appears in India via the Hindu text known as the Rig Veda, dating from 1500 BC to 500 BC, so about 4 millennia ago. It was and still is used as a meditative tool and spiritual exercise in the belief system of many religious faiths around the world. The encyclopedia goes on to explain that the image of a mandala is usually defined, quote, as a circle decorated with imagery which directs the mind of the observer or the creator inwards from the outer rim on deeper reflection to the meaning and purpose of life. Or it's about the nature of the universe. The encyclopedia says, the substance and reality of God, the true nature of the self, the underlying form of reality, cosmological truths, actually any other spiritual, psychological, or emotional aspect of one's life, unquote. Yeah, cosmic man, right? So, this was given to me by a friend who cut this. This design, and you can see it in the mandala underneath here on the hanging, is called the Seed of Life. And this can be drawn, and then you draw one point, and then from that point you draw another circle, and where those circles intersect, you draw another circle. So this is used as a meditative tool, And Ron gave this to me with a piece of rose quartz, and I'm supposed to, and I do sometimes meditate on that rose quartz as it sits on the mandala. So we come to the question of why I'm talking about this today. Well, if you've been to my house, you'll see a few examples of circles around my house. I can show you some of them now. This brass tree is in my front foyer. The moon and stars are in my bathroom, actually. And the brass tray is from India. This hangs in my dining room. It was given to an aunt and uncle of mine as a gift from their Hindu friends when they were missionaries in India. And this is a print of a zodiac. It's one of the first pieces of art that I bought for myself with my own money from my mother's art gallery. And then this next piece is in our family room. So if you've been to my house, this is a big circle of piano keys that make a circle with middle C up at the top. And it's all 88 keys. So these are just a few of the images from around my house. My fascination with circles and circle dance is kind of a chicken or the egg story. Which came first? I've always been fascinated by the mathematics of geometry, and then I discovered circle dance right here at Accotink. Years ago, when I first started attending Accotink, we held a Mother's Day banquet where mothers and daughters were treated to a feast that the menfolk had prepared for us. Maybe we should try doing that again, right? My mom wasn't around, so Delroy took me under her wing and offered to be my mother for that night. Del had invited a circle dance teacher, Judy David, to provide our entertainment for the evening. So when we finished eating, we cleared a space, we joined hands and learned to dance in a circle. We used very easy steps to a lovely song called As One by Deneen, and it was my first introduction to circle dance, and I was hooked. Judy David offered a dance program here at Accotink, which continued for a few years, and she also led a circle dance at Arlington, which I later joined. In fact, eventually I led that circle at Arlington for several years up until the pandemic. I just came back from that circle dance camp in New Hampshire, and I'm going again in August to Maine to a UU camp called Ferry Beach, and everyone should check that out because it's a really cool place on the beach. It has a great beach. I've traveled to other states, and I've even been fortunate enough to go to some other countries. I've gone to Mexico and Scotland and Greece to dance with teachers who inspire me to keep dancing. By the way, one of my teachers, Evie Beck, lives up in Maryland, and she has a weekly dance group that meets every Tuesday morning in her synagogue, and it must be keeping her young because she turned 80 this year. I'm sorry, she turned 90 this year. So I have a little time left to keep dancing, right? So what's this all about? Suzanne Fincher talks about sacred circles in her book, Creating Mandalas. She says, many religious rituals begin with the establishment of a sacred space, a sacred circle. Some ceremonies use circular movement to create an ecstatic state of mind. One of the grandmothers of circle dance is Judy David, and she was in England, and she died in 2022 after leading and dancing in circles since 1980s. She wrote a book called Circle Dancing, Celebrating the Sacred in Dance. And I have it under my papers. And this is her book. It's a wonderful book. It's especially good for teachers who are leading circle dance circles because it explains a lot of the philosophy behind it. But in her book, she says, the circle is a potent symbol for many things. It is the shape of the earth. It is the shape of the moon and the sun, the wheel of life, the circle dance of the seasons. People in harmony with earth and natural cycles live, as they always have, in circular dwellings. The square, linear, cornered buildings of today create a barrier between people and nature. Living in roundhouses, dancing in circles, reconnects us, brings us back into harmony and wholeness. About dancing, June says, the circle is the symbol for all things being equal. In a dancing circle, each person is a part of the whole. And I'm always noticing lines and circles, and if you notice, I kind of curved our seats today. And I once went into a room where we were having a small meeting, maybe 6 or 8 people were going to come, and I got there early. And the seats were arranged in straight lines with a table at the front. So I went in and I moved the chairs, and I had like 8 chairs set out in a nice semicircle where we could see each other and talk. I left the room to go to the bathroom, came back, and a guy had come in and moved it back into a line. And I said, oh, I thought the chairs were arranged the other way. And he goes, yeah, well, they were messy and I fixed it. I moved the chairs again. So I do consider this a spiritual practice. It teaches us interconnectedness about all things. Dancing in a circle, there is no hierarchy. We are looking at each other as equals, holding hands, and embracing each other at times. As we coordinate our steps in sometimes very simple patterns, we can reach what is called entrainment, when our body rhythms, even our heartbeats, reach a level of synchronization. Our bodies are a conduit for the energy flowing between earth and sky, and that's the key for me. It's all about channeling our collective energy for positive goals such as peace and healing, or we can dance and just celebrate and have fun. As I've gone through periods of personal loss and tragedies, circle dance has brought me into balance and an understanding of, or acceptance of, the cycles of life: birth, death, and new beginnings. From observing other dance teachers and leading circles myself, I believe I have gained a measure of patience and forbearance. I have to judge the crowd. For a while, I led adaptive circle dance at a nursing home. I led dances where everyone was seated in their wheelchairs. And we danced to beautiful music, bending our bodies and our arms, sometimes our feet, to these simple patterns, and people who came in with a frown left with a smile. The simplest dances can teach us the deepest lessons. And so we hold hands, moving together until the song ends. We drop hands, step back, and form again, holding the hands of others, dancing to another melody as the cycle of life moves on.
So I have very few announcements for today. Mary Kringer and Susie and probably Dottie Smith as well are reminding us that postcards are ready for pickup in the back of the church today. And there are a few extra. So if you didn't get to sign up to fill out the postcards, and these postcards go to people, basically all over the country to encourage them to vote. So it's not a pitch for one party or another. It's a pitch for people to get out there and vote. So please pick up your postcards, or if you think you'd like to help these folks out, let them know that after church. I'm going to remind people that she will stay after church and do a few circle dances. If some of you would like to try it, and have never tried it before, please feel free to do it. She tells me that it is very simple, even for the klutzy. So, if you want to do that, please join her. And then Kamala has one more announcement that she'd like to make. Oh, I've got the election on the brain. I'm so sorry. Sorry, Kamutha.
That's the best compliment. That really is. Good morning, all. My name is Kamutha Lane.
And I'm Kate McDivitt. And I loved this service, but I feel like I need more circles in my life.
I do too, Kate. I do too.
But where could we get those?
I don't know. What can we say?
Maybe the auction that's coming up this fall.
What? The auction?
Yeah. So our theme for the auction is circles. Circle round.
Circle round for the auction, y'all. Circle round.
Right?
So we are your new co-chairs for this year, the 2024 auction. So we are excited and looking forward to having a wonderful auction this year.
And we have some dates that we want you to I don't know, I was gonna say write in your calendars, but put in your phones? I don't know how modern technology works, right? Yeah, so the first one is August 11th.
Yes, right after the service, I will be meeting downstairs. It's the interest meeting. So if you'd like to be involved in the auction in any way, come downstairs, and I am sure we can find a job for you to do.
Absolutely.
Because even though we are the co-chairs, it is all covenant.
It's a community
event, right?
Yeah.
So we need everyone's help, and we are looking forward to working with each and every one of you. So.
And then we have August 18th, which is going to be when we open for donations. So anything that you're thinking of maybe donating for the auction, that's the date to keep in mind.
Yes.
And then the actual auction is going to be in October, right?
Yes.
So October 19th is going to be when the silent auction opens, and we're going to have a kickoff brunch on that same day. So put that in your calendars.
And we will put this in the calendar.
Yes,
and,
of course.
And we have the live auction, of course, on October 26th. So we are looking forward to seeing you all there. Come up with great ideas. You know, popular events always draw people every single year, so we love those popular events. Come up with new events. I am looking at you, Judy, to do something special. I wanted to do something about goddesses, because I will bid on that like crazy. So we're excited, as you can tell. Kamala's very excited. As you can tell.
All right. And just check this week. We'll have reminders every week, so you can't miss it. Yeah.
And yeah, you'll be sick of us, but, you know.
And, you know, as I look out into the congregation, there's probably a third of you that I don't know. And a wonderful way to be a part of community is to do something like offer to spend a little time helping out with something, you know, like the auction. That's the way to build community. That's the way to really get to know people when you work together on some particular project. Please now rise in body or spirit for our closing words.
But we are going to join. But like in the old days, we are going to form a circle.
Oh, okay.
So if you remember, we used to form a circle around the perimeter of the room, and I'd like to do that today. As we end our service, we invite you to make this circle to remind us of our connections to the world. We used to do this in the old days, if you remember, and I would like to do that today again. And as we extinguish.
As we extinguish our chalice, I invite you to join me now in our community blessing with these words of David Bumbaugh. This church is dedicated to the proposition that behind all our differences and beneath all our diversity, there is a unity that makes us one and binds us together in spite of time, death, and the space between the stars. We pause now in silent witness to that unity.
Deep breath. Our benediction today comes from Kathleen McTeague with these words. May the light around us guide our footsteps and hold us fast and bent to the best and most righteous that we seek. May the darkness around us nurture our dreams and give us rest so that we may give ourselves to the work of the world. Let us seek to remember the wholeness of our lives, the weaving of light and shadow in this great and astonishing dance in which we live. Go in peace, share your love, live in kindness. Blessed be.